Okay, here we go on YouTube. Now, I'm currently working on a... Why are you invisible? No, not that one. That one, thank you. I'm currently working on I had the idea. If you've seen Sons of the Forest, or even The Forest is general, or those kind of games, the building system that they use, I've had the idea of how can I implement that. So I've started doing it here. And I thought I'd stream my early things, and if I just grab go brown for like a ground. Let's have it sort of lines, make it easier. There we go. Okay, so as it is right now, you can see the square there. So this is let's move that up by a hair, like that. So right now, what I've got is I can go like this. So I've got the ghost turned on. You can't think of it. It says it needs logs. So I've scaled the logs here. Now, obviously, I'm going to add a rough animation so that you can carry a log. Then maybe make it so that there's a tree. You go to the tree, push a button, the tree chops down, drops a couple of logs. You can then pick up a log, then bring a log back to here, and push a button to put the log on the system. So the way I'm thinking of doing it is each one of these toggles on the visibility of, there's the structure there. That's what it's going to look like. But each of these logs, like as you can see, that one there is the half log. That's the full log, full log, full log. And that's the same length as the full log, but it's cut into planks. And I would look at it and go, so there's about 5 planks per log. So the way the system would have to work is, if we get a counter and it requires, let's grab that and just put it in there. So right now it's in there. Ideally, I would like it so that the number will go down every time you add a thing, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. It's the early tests, something like that. So it's 7 logs are needed. So let's put the target to 7. Not going to worry about the planks just yet. So when I walk up to the get the puppet, and I walk up to it, you can say, okay, build shelter, 7 logs, 5 planks. So okay. So we need to make it so that when the puppet has a log and it enters that area, it then says yes, place one. So what I can do here, not the counter just yet, but if I go detect, we'll make that a tag. So for example, a tag of log or carrying or something along those lines. So if I use then do the pulse and go to add. So if I then have these ones here are going to, because I want it to go in a certain order, I'm just going to use a calculator. Let's move this. Over here. So if I go greater than 0, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, because once you've placed the log, you don't let it disappear. So if I can go to, not here, we need to get that and go counter progress, counter full, current one. That's the one we want. So we're going to go there to there. So if the current count is greater than 0, it's to show the first log. But we need the puppet to be able to grab a log. So for now, what I'm just going to do is grab, that's a segmental one we don't want. Let's grab that. Let's do like that. Excuse me. Let's just make it so it's not collidable. And do all this, kind of like that. Okay. We're going to attach it to its torso. Yeah, over that shoulder sounds fine. We'll go to about that. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is come into the puppet. In fact, let's move the puppet to the side a little bit so we can see it. Let's add another chip into here. Like this. We want to have a tag that pops up, and we'll call it log. You'll just call it log. That makes enough sense, because then we can add another one below it and call that plank, because we're going to have to make a way to get planks. Now obviously at the moment we're not going to worry about the planks, we're just going to worry about the logs. So we want to make it so that it looks like it's carrying it. So we get the arm, we go, let's just we'll go a bit there, we'll say there, move it to the side, doesn't have to be exact, let's do that to about there, and kind of there. Okay, that looks like it's carrying a log. Go into that, and when it does that emote, we'll also we're also going to make it so that it turns the visibility of the log on, and then we're going to do a let's just do it a toggle for now. So when B is active, it does that and also turns on the log. For now, I'm not going to do the whole activation of being near a log to pick it up. I'm just going to do a whole what button can you press to pick it up. Let's use square as pick up. I think that sounds like a good plan. For now, let's do that. So that. So as it stands right now, puppet walks around. Oop, I found a log. Oop, I've got a log. Let's take the log over to the base and plonk the log on. So as you can see, it's detected the puppet because in here, the detection system, this fucking controller, Sony, seriously. It's detecting the puppet. So we want it to detect the tag, and we want it to detect, go the other way, plank, log. Okay, so if we go rewind. So if I now walk up to the ghosty thingy, if I walk into it, it should do nothing. But if I happen to be carrying a log, come up to here, it should place it. But we also need it to not be an automatic thing. We want it to be a manual thing. So you go up, you click on it. So to do that, we're going to come up to here. Okay, so to pick it up, we only want it to go to pick it up. Then we're going to add this. We'll add a quick little that to there, so that when this is interacted with, so when that is interacted, that pulse. Let's make it wireless to try and save ourselves some time, and we'll go placed. So when that pulses, it'll trigger placed. Let's leave that open. So now we can run a receiver. I did put a transmitter and not a receiver there, didn't I? Yes. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, so this here, come up to here. It should only be the ones that's got placed. Zones, now it's going to look for it in that zone. And I think that should be fine. We shouldn't have to touch the zones or anything like that. So I'm going to leave it as it is. So it's going to be looking for placed, which will then pulse it back to not being carrying a log. So right now, as I go, I can place the log, but then I'm going to grab the log, but then doing that, hitting the button again does nothing. Then if I walk over to the thing, it'll place it and then take it out of my thing. So then I've got to go get another one. So to then, let's move these over. Let's organize our stuff here. Oh, wow. Yeah, because that's exactly what we said to do. To there, to there, there. Okay, when the counter gets to full, because at the moment it's for the logs. So when the counter gets to full, we want to switch to the bottom one, which is going to be, that's ghost. So the Y's are out of the way. You know what? Let's simplify it. It's 8. Boom. 8 logs. Instead of worrying about making it change the log into planks, it just automatically change it into planks and places it on that. It makes it simpler. And so we're just going to grab a heap of... Let's claim this one. Okay, so when the counter is... where are we? Hey, MIDI molecule. Why is the NOT gate first? That should be first. Okay. When the counter is not full, let's power that up. Okay. So, wait, no. That up. Yeah. Actually, you know what? No. We can do that to there. Turn that off. So, right now, all I have to do is run a lead from there to each of those. Okay, so now we're just going to make sure that's 0. That's got to be greater than 1. So we're going to have 2 logs on there or more. That's got to be greater than 2. Motherfucker. 2, thank you. That one's got to be greater than 3. 4. 5. 6. And 7. Because that's the 8th one, that's full. So technically it should now all work. When I've placed everything, it completes the build, turns the ghost off, makes a noise, whatever. Grab a log. One placed. Grab a log. Oop. Issue. Okay, what's going on there? That makes no sense. Why is that doing that? Okay, so I'm gonna have to make it so that yeah, it's on plus. Okay, so let's remote. That text the tag of log, which should turn on every time that happens. That should be working fine, so I don't know why it isn't. Let's run a line from, we'll say trigger. And we'll do the same from here to trigger. Yeah, and then that powers up that. Make sure that's on remote. Yes, okay. So if this detects the tag of log, which should only be active when I've got it in there. Yeah, square pulses. No, okay. Let's add a pulse. Just let's be sure. Add a pulse. I don't like adding a heap of pulses because thermal and crap, but just to be safe, let's go pulse to that. Okay, so I can pick a log up, walk up to it, and then I have to push the trigger to place. Then I can go away, pick another log up. Now it should be fine. Right trigger, place a second log, which it has not done. Why have you not? Because I didn't connect the wires. Wow. Okay. Game developers, this is why you do testing, man. Okay, so yeah, so now the second one. So let's okay, so pick a log up. Now obviously that picking the log up will be thingy. You stand in the area, right trigger, place the log, go wherever the next one is, grab that, place the next one in, grab that, come in, place the next one, which will do the back to, come out, grab another log, go in, place that one in, which should be the back one. Oh no, one on the side. So now I can't walk through because I've placed it. Come out here, grab another log. I shouldn't have to be right in it. I can be just on the edge of it. Yep, see, and now you can't walk in there. So I can walk through this way because it's ghosted. Grab another log. Up to here, place, which would be the front one. Yep. Grab another log. Place, be back one. So right now all we need is the planks. Come out and grab another one. Up here and go planks. Ghost disappears, building's complete. So now all we need to do is we need to make a way so that only okay, so I'm not going to need the plank tag. Let's turn that off just in case. We need to only be able to pick up a log if we're in the range of a log. So if we quickly create a spawner, let's say we'll go cube. Cube sounds fine. Do that. Do that. Let's make sure it's straight. Okay. Scale it. So what we're going to do is we'll say, now obviously this cube would be invisible. Let's grab a chip. Boom. And boom. Let's double make sure that that is on the actual block, like so. So we need in here we need to have a inlet, so we can say, okay, trigger. Then we need a spawner, or emitter in this case. And we need it to emit the object from wherever we're going to make it emit from. So we can come down to say there, and to say there. And just to make things easy, let's grab another log, boom. bring it up to the spot. Now without changing the size of it, let's rotate it. Actually, you know what? Let's leave it like this. Put it beside it. Now this cube here is obviously not going to be collidable, so let's do not collidable, no density, and none of that. Okay, no imp interaction, low physics cost. Let's add for down the road sake, a switch here, and turn that into there so we can now make it invisible if we need to. Okay, now emitter, we're going to be emitting the log, so let's make sure that that is inside there. So everything else is blurry, so it's only those to the sharp. Speed, we're not too fast, let's make it 0.5. Once, max emitted, once, and how long the emitted object stays in. So when it emits, so if you chop the tree down, when it hits the ground, how long before that despawns. So we'll say 120 seconds. That should be more than enough time to, because a tree, depending on the size, is how many it will drop. So we'll say that should be fine. Yes, yes, yes. There could be infinite number emitted, but we don't have to worry about that. So when the tree is destroyed, it will send a signal into here, which we then want to have as a pulse, just to stop any sort of friggin' issues, to like that. But it is to emit this object, and it is to fall straight down. Why the fuck it goes that way, I do not know. Actually, I'm going to make it go, no. That, so I can get that. Is it still not going to let me? That's going to be a no. No, so, you know what? That's fine. I wanted to make it a slight angle, but that's fine. So whatever this is triggered, which would in this case would be a tree destroyed, it will drop a log. So that should be all we need for that. Now for a tree, let's just make a dummy one for now, and we'll go move this over here somewhere. And using that as a guide, let's just go, we'll grab this. That's about the same size, so we'll go, tree, boom. Of course, that's a high-tech tree. We can come along to here. So for example, now that there, if we're looking at it, we can go, using this as again as a guide, we can go, that could be a 3-log tree. That's easily a 3-log tree. So let's just grab that, we'll go there, there, and one more at the top, there. We don't have to be exact. We can get rid of that one now. Now, for the tree, we don't want to do the whole, let's make an animation, stuff like that. So let's just go, its own little chipset there somewhere, attach it to the tree, and then let's just make sure that our little cubes here are actually attached to the actual tree. Okay, excuse me. So we have easiest. Actually, you know what? Counter. Then let's add a pulse input, which will then add to that. So this is going to be our chopping mechanic. So whenever we press the puppet to chop the tree down, that will pulse and that will add to that. Now we're going to make this the tree's life. So what do we want to make it? 4 hits for the tree to get destroyed. So got that. Then we can go that. And let's grab another pulse. And then when it is full, is to, in brackets, chop the tree down. Okay, so we have, okay, hitting the tree, how many hits it takes. When it's done the full amount of hits, it will then toggle this on and off. So let's grab that. And then we can go the visibility and the, we want on the top, the visibility and the collision. You can run from there. So only when this is not at full is that tree visible. Then when it's at the opposite one, we can then go, that will no longer be visible, so then we want to spawn them out. Now if I remember correctly, we done it pulsed in there, didn't we? Yeah, so we can now just run a line from there to there. We can turn its visibility off for now. I think that's correct. So we can go straight into the little thing on the side. Let's turn its visibility off. And do the same with the top one. Oop. There we go. And then turn its visibility off. So when you hit it 4 times, it toggles, makes the tree invisible and no longer collidable, and then it will spawn in, hopefully, the 3 logs. Now the hitting, how do we do this? If we go, we don't want to be able to hit the tree from a mile away, so let's add a zone. Let's make the zone roughly where we're going to be standing, about there. That sounds fine. Okay, now, did we put... Actually, if we make that like we did with the other one, we can make it a tag. So if we come over to here, tag, we'll call that hit. No, chop. Just so we can tell at any point. So okay, so we've got the tag chop. Let's make sure it's at our feet, so any sort of issues don't arise. If we're going to make chop squares to pick up, chop, I kind of want to make right trigger chop. Let's do that anyway. It shouldn't interfere with the building, so we should be fine. I just want to test to make sure this does chop. I haven't done, the reason I haven't done any more with these is because I've got to add the ability to pick them up. So only if this detects the tag of chop does it send a pulse to add one. So if we come over to it, we should be able to walk up to our tree that we bump into, and if we're next to it, 2, 3, 4, and we get our logs. Now we've got to add our, our ability to pick them up. So this is why I haven't done any more with these thingies. So let's grab the bottom one. If I just do that so we can see it. Let's turn its visibility on. So the emitted log needs to be able to be detected by the puppet. So if we call the emitted object something, we can call it log, I suppose. Okay, so we want it to stay visible. Let's come into here. So we don't want this to be able to be used unless come into here, unless we detect that we're near a log. So if we go we could do a tag, because if we do that, then we've got to make sure that they all match up. But if we do a tag, we can add a tag to the emitted object and just make sure that this says emit with wires. So we can then come into our log, we can grab a tag and there somewhere, just add a tag and then call that pickup for now. So only when we're within range of that, let's make sure it's right in the center of the log, because the logs are dynamic, so only when the log is emitted will it have that. So we can then tell it that only when the tag, the other way, not blank, pickup. So only when that is detected can we then do that. But we also need to allow for it to destroy the log. So in the emitter there's a spot here where we can add there, destroy emitted object. So what we can do is if we go because if we do that, then each emitter, because it might interfere with other I'm concerned that that's going to interfere with all the others. If I go destroy emitted object, because we're not taking into account which one's getting picked up. Bugger. Dilemma. Okay. Let's leave it at that for now. So that can be picked up when that happens. So it won't destroy the log. Okay. If we come up, we can hit it 4 times. So that one there should be the one we can pick up. So if we come here, we can pick it up. Come and place it up now. Obviously it doesn't destroy it, so we can come here and pick it up again. And we don't want that to be the issue. So when we pick it up, we need to be able to that's a good question. If I change, let's put a chip in this. This might make it a little bit easier. If I put a chip in there, make sure the chip is attached to the log. Okay, then we can put the pickup tag in there. And then we can also put a destroyer in here, like this, and tell it that that destroyer destroys the object. And then we just have to put again, good old pulse of 1 second into that. So the pickup tag stays. That will pulse to that if we pick it up. So if we now add another tag, This is probably the easiest way to do it, I think. Another tag, and we'll call that picked. Yeah, picked sounds good. Okay, so only when we hit the button and we're in the zone does it do that. So this detection system here, if we now detect within the range of the log, now of course all these can be adjusted, we can adjust all that, but that should be good for tag. I'll pick up picked. Okay, so only if this detects picked does it send a pulse to destroy the object. So if the tag picked is near this log, it should destroy it. Fingers crossed. Okay, come over. 2, 3, 4. We've got this one here, we pick it up. It didn't destroy it. Why did it not destroy it? Why did you not destroy it? Interesting. Wait, what? Is that chip in the incorrect spot? No, it's attached. Ah, might not have been. I don't think I scoped it in far enough. Okay, oop. Let's rewind it. Let's try again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be that one. Pick it up. Destroys it. That's good. We've got a log. We can come up, place it here, and we've got no more here. We can't pick it up again. That is perfect. That is good. We're still obviously going to run into the issue of if they're two right next to each other, you're going to double pick up, but only get the one. But that's okay. We can deal with that later down the road. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Now, so this one here, we can adjust to roughly we want to put. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the emitter emits it. No, let's make it emit at exactly the same spot. Kinda there, yeah. So we know as a guide where that log is off to the side. Oops. Should be where it emits from. So then we can now get rid of that one and get rid of that one. And we can clone this one twice. Let's move it up. And let's do that to there and there. And just to give it that little bit extra, let's tilt that so that it's kind of similar shape. Run the outputs from there to there. At that. Okay, so come up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Logs drop down. You can still see the emitters, but they can be turned off. Whoop, don't fall off. We can come and grab this one. Grab. Pick that log up. Come over to here. Placed. Come over here and grab this log. Place. Come over and grab this log. And placed. That's looking not too bad. Now the ghosting here, that feels a little too bright. So I'm just going to come in and grab it and we'll just adjust it a little bit. Like that. Nope. Oh, come on, be a nice game. It's not going to be nice, is it? Humbug. Let's do that so we can, there we go. There we go. Okay, so let's turn that down to about 12. I'll set the door 5. Okay, so that, yeah, that's not visible enough. Okay. Ah, yeah, that's good. That looks really good. Okay. So we've got a tree, we've got the buildable. That's kind of all we need. So I can now, let's just grab these and move them out of the way. Let's do that to there. Let's do the same with all this stuff. Like that. Now I'm going to grab this just for ease of this. Let's go big ass square. We'll say about that. Let's turn that off so it's that. Turn it back on again so we can move it up. We only want a slight indentation so we can go like that. This is more so to stop anything from rolling off. Okay, so he's good, and that's good. Now this should all be able to be moved down to about there. Let's move this tree to there, and we can grab these and turn these visibilities off. Okay, so now we need, was it 7 or 8? So we're going to need at least 3 trees. Now obviously you could add leaves and stuff like that, but let's just go boom, another tree there, and we'll go tree there. Let's rotate this one to there. This one over this way a little bit, rotate it that way, just to make them all look slightly different. There and there. Okay. Go up to it. 2, 3, 4. We'll get our logs. Boom. Grab our log. Yeah, let's place it on. Oh yeah, that looks heaps better. Grab a log. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I think we only need 2 more, but I could make a smaller tree. Okay, do this, place, 1 more, over and place. Building done. Okay, noises. Could add noises and some stuff, but what I might do is I might release it as it is. Actually, you know what? No. Let's just quickly... Let's quickly do some noises and stuff. Let's grab... where are we? Created sound effects. So we want... so we don't want that. Does this have any... Not really. We go character. None of those really sound. There's nothing in there. Okay, we'll go soft impact. You know what? That sounds good. So if every time that happens, it can do that. So every time you hit the tree, it does that. Now, ideally, we want to add a tutorial guide. So if we go like this, now where's that going to put it? Right there, sounds not too bad. And we just to chop, and then square collect. Okay. We don't need that. We don't need that. We will change that to a grey. That feels too big, doesn't it? And the problem is that will stay when the thing is, so let's make sure that that is to there. So it's only visible while the tree is up. Let's make a leaf top. Let's grab a circle. Nice and big. Yeah, sounds good. Let's make sure it's aligned. I don't think it matters, but you know, we'll go to there, to there. How's that looking? That's good enough for me. Okay, we're going to paint it green because it's, you know, leaves. Now I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change the color of the logs and stuff like that because the color it is, I reckon, is fine. Okay, then we need to get that. We want to go to this with a buttload of this. With a heap of that. And then if we can even come into here and go this one to the different fleck type, choose different fleck. Okay, that's better. Okay, so then this can be attached to the log, the thing. And just let's double make sure and go boom to there and make sure it's only visible when they, because we're not floating leaves, this ain't Minecraft. Okay. Come over. Logs, collect, build. That sounds all good to me. So what I might do is I might let's copy this tree a handful of times because that is pretty satisfying. Let's do say that, and let's copy it again. Say to there. Now you shouldn't need that many, but just in case. Actually, not just in case. And of course, it doesn't bloody matter. Let's just copy it. Let's rotate it, say about that angle to about there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to even copy some more, because why the hell not? So if I go to there, so there. How does that look? Yes, that one's very close to the edge. Let's move you in, closer to base. So we'll say about there. Okay, so the puppet, look, I'm going to zoom the camera in. So if you come up to this tree, you can drop it down. You can grab the logs. You can place. And you just got to remember, if there's two right next to each other, technically you could double pick them up and you can lose one. But I reckon that's not bad. If I just come into here, we'll get this camera angle here. And let's zoom that in because that annoys the living shit out of me. 4, we'll lower that to a 30. Don't want any of that. That's all good. Let's up that a little bit to there. I'm not going to worry about changing the run. The puppet's going to be a basic puppet. We'll leave that as it is. Can do all that. Can do that. Okay, come back out to this. Then come to here and go save. Save is at, I'm going to call it contraption. Call it that. It's going to probably say that it's full. I hope it doesn't. Yes, it's full, so I have to delete something, even though I know for a fact it's not. You know, that can go away. That was for testing, so that can go away. No, I just deleted stuff because I, you know, media molecule, seriously. So there's that. Then I can go to save version, release public, because I don't mind people using it. Let's just give them a plug. Like that. Public, yes, should be good. Let's put it up. Boom. So if you want to use it, you've got dreams, it'll be up. Now obviously if you're going to change the logs on the build section, ideally you'd change the ones that are also spawned and stuff like that, but the basics is there. So if I come into here, to clear up space, I can now delete that. Yes. Yes. Let's give it some tags. We'll call it realistic. It's a recreation. Let's call it a recreation gadget. Remixable, work in progress. Sounds good. I didn't put, I suppose I better quickly type it here, to chop and place. Square, collect. I hope that's enough explanation. It's up, it's usable, it's remixable, it's got a forest build system, work in progress. If you're on Dreams, give it a whirl. I'm going to call the stream there, guys. I hope this is a interesting video. If I expand on this, I might stream it, let you see me expanding on it. If it's tedious, boring, just connecting wires and cloning stuff, I won't worry. But if it's like I'm actually going to try and figure problems out or work something into it, then I'll stream it. If you've got any suggestions on what I should try, by all means, throw a comment down there. I'm out of here. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all next time. See yous.